Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I'm very excited today because Marty Sears has returned with the second season of his Rat Run puzzles. This is Rat Run number 11. The first 10 puzzles, I think we've covered all 10 on the channel. They've all been so original and brilliant. This came out, I think, yesterday. We had a couple of emails about it overnight. It's called Limited Edition. I have read the rules before I turned on the webcam. There's one very, very strange rule at the end. But look, I snipped the blurb. Let's read this together. So, Experiment 11, Indigo, from the 23rd of October 1974. That is actually exactly 50 years ago. So whilst Finkz seemed to enjoy the 2-month break, I have a feeling she has been missing the challenge that the experiments provide and will be glad to begin phase 2. Meanwhile, Elliot has been carrying out essential maintenance work on the probably teleporters? I don't know. But as usual, we have a very colourful grid and Finkz has to make her way to the cupcake, which is there. So it looks very simple, but knowing Marty, it will not be. Anyway, but this only has 2 stars out of 5 for difficulty on Logic Masters Germany and a 100% approval rating. I think a lot of people besides me are very, very pleased to see the return of Finkz. Anyway, let me just get on to a couple of things before we get solving today. Let me look at my list. We are streaming tomorrow. We're back to Tometsi, 10 p.m. UK time. We'd love to have your company. Boom, here it is. This Tometsi game is a bit like Hexels, but it's more difficult. There's, as you can see from this picture, there are sort of different sizes of shapes which have strange numbers of sides, but it's a very good game, and as I say, well, 10 o'clock tomorrow is when we're returning to that. Now, many of you, I think including Marty, are going to be coming to a live edition of Cracking the Cryptic that we're doing at the Stratford-upon-Avon Literary Festival on Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, we are aware it's sold out, but we are aware that there is one ticket. Somebody has bought a ticket, and they emailed us to say they thought the event was happening at Stratford in London. It's actually Stratford-upon-Avon, very different place indeed, and they can't get to Stratford-upon-Avon. So we are aware of one ticket that is looking for a home. So if you are wanting to go and you weren't able to get a ticket, drop us an email, crackingthecryptic@gmail.com, and we'll try and put you in touch with the person who has a spare ticket and see if anything can happen there. So I just wanted to give that public service announcement. And then I've got some birthdays to do as well. So let's do birthdays. Ella, it's your birthday today, and I know this because your partner Tyler wrote to us and said that you often attempt the puzzles successfully. So, well, thank you for trying the puzzles. Thank you for watching, Ella, and I hope you have an absolutely brilliant birthday today, perhaps with some chocolate cake, heavily iced, of course. Next, over in Germany, it is Julian's 27th birthday today, and I know this because your girlfriend, I'm going to say Venny. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. There could be other pronunciations, but I'm going to try Venny. Venny wrote to us and said that the two of you, I think you live 550 kilometers apart. That's quite a distance, isn't it? That must be almost the sort of an entire span of Germany. But you've been watching the videos together on Discord for over a year, which is lovely. So Julian, I'm not sure if you're with Venny today, but I hope that you have a great birthday with, of course, large amounts of, is it Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte? I vaguely remember that from my German lessons at school. Next, Maggie. Maggie, you've turned 34 today. I know this because your husband, who may be called Nick, I'm not sure about that, described you in a comment on one of our YouTube videos as an incredible mum to your son Theo, who I think is just 1 year old, and told us that you were thriving in your new job. So Maggie, happy 34th birthday. I've guessed your husband's name from the YouTube name that was associated with the account that left the message, so I could be wrong. If I am, it's not Nick, it's not Nick's fault. But hopefully the fact that you'll have a 1-year-old son and will be turning 34 today will be enough for you to be confident which husband, or if you understand what I mean, who has wished you a very happy birthday. So, Maggie, I hope you get chocolate cake. And with all that said and done, now I'm going to try the new Rat Run puzzle, Rat Run 11 Limited Edition by Marty Sears. These are the rules. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. So we have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Now, the aim of the experiment today is that Finkz the rat must reach the cupcake by finding a path through the maze. The path must not visit any cell more than once, cross itself, or pass through any thick maze walls. As well as moving orthogonally, orthogonally means, that's an orthogonal movement, crossing an edge. This is a diagonal movement. As well as moving orthogonally, Finkz may move diagonally if there's a 2x2 space in which to do so, but may never pass diagonally through a round wall spot on the corner of a cell. So we couldn't do that, for example. That would go through a round wall spot. But we could do that because, so far as I can see, I may be wrong, but that looks to me like it's not interfering with anything. So that sort of thing is allowed. Now, we've got teleports, which we have seen before in Rat Run puzzles. So teleports, it then says, entering a teleport will cause Finkz to be instantly transported to the matching coloured teleport. From there, she can continue her journey. Matching teleports always have identical digits, but teleports that don't match always have different digits. So if we worked out that B had the digit 1 in it, then just trying to see what. So D then couldn't have the digit 1 as well, because Sudoku would allow D's to be 1s, but that wouldn't be allowed because we can't duplicate digits on different coloured teleporters. Now, the next rule, I think this is a new rule, redcurrants. A redcurrant always sits between an even digit and an odd digit. So it's a slightly looser constraint than consecutiveness, which also would require obviously an odd and an even digit. But white dots would require normally consecutive digits. Red dots are just different parity. That's what we're learning there. And then, right, now here's the really funny rule. The test constraint. In this experiment, any cell on the path equals the digit at the top of its column plus the digit at the left-hand end of its row. Now that is a truly strange rule, let me tell you. So let's take the middle cell of the grid. Let's just make this something. Let's make it 6. And let's say it's on the path. So let's draw a bit of a path going through that square. What does that mean? That means that the sum of those two digits, the sum of the cells at the top of its column and in the left-hand row, sum to 6. So that, okay, they could be double 3 then, couldn't they? Probably. I don't know. Or they could be 2 and 4, or they could be 1 and 5, or something like that. But every cell that's on the path is going to have to obey that constraint, which is, it's a really unusual rule. But do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. And as always with these puzzles, the temptation is to think that we can simply drop into the final. Well, we can't because we'll go through the teleport. Sorry, that's a silly thought. I haven't engaged my brain yet. But yeah, if Finkz goes down here and then goes in the teleport, she'll get teleported here. So we can't sort of just go along the bottom of the grid and reach the teleporter. Oh, sorry, reach the cupcake. No, I'm not really sure how to start this. I'm going to have to think about this more, aren't I? I think it's this final rule. I mean, one obvious thing to say, which probably is worth saying, so I will say it, is that 1 the digit 1, which must appear 9 times in the puzzle because it's a Sudoku puzzle, cannot be on the path ever. Because imagine that this was, when we did the example, imagine this was a 1 rather than a 6. These two cells would have to sum up to 1. Now, even if they were both themselves 1, which is the least they could be, they would add up to 2, wouldn't they? So that's not going to work. So in every box, row and column, there is going to be a cell that is simply unvisitable. Unvisitable. That must be a word. So we can't, for example, just go all the way up column 2 or something like that. That just will not work. Yeah, okay. Right. So in fact, there is another thing that we can deduce here. The path is never going to go in. It can't ever go into the places that are indexing it. So the index for any cell on the path is constructed out of taking this column. Oh, that's a bizarre thing that's happened there. And this row, isn't it? And summing the digit in this column with the digit in this row. Well, how could any of these cells be on the path? Let's take that one as an example. If that is on the path, the digit in that cell should be the sum of itself and the digit at the top of the column. Well, that can't work, because the digit at the top of the column can't be 0. And similarly, that can't be 0. So the path is never going into these squares. Ah. Right. So that actually means, let's go back to my drawing tool. That means the path never goes into the D teleporter. Because if the path does go into the D teleporter, either directly or via row 9, column 5, will get transported to a cell that cannot be on the path. So E also is impossible, because that, we can't go into this square. Right. So now what we can say is that Finkz, she has to go up there, I think. Up those... Well, no. No, actually. Oh. Yeah, maybe I do need to colour cells that can't be on the path. Because I immediately didn't... I was saying that Finkz had to go up there. That's true, but actually Finkz has to go much further than that, because she can't ever go in row 1 or column 1. So let's make all of those grey. Yeah, so the initial path is totally clear. This is lovely. The initial path is totally clear. We can't go through the blue teleporter because we'll end up in column 1. So we're going to have to go all the way up there and then all the way along here. And that's a great deal of path that's already defined. Now, what does this mean? I haven't got a clue. Okay, so we know none of these are 1s, don't we? That's something we worked out right at the start. So the 1 in row 2 is in one of those, and the 1 in column 2 is in one of those. I don't really know how to... I mean, I could pencil mark it like that, but it's a very odd pencil mark, so I probably won't do that. I'll try and remember that. No, I was about to say you can't... No, that's not how it... Oh, okay, I was going to think about the digit 9, but I've just realised that the way I was thinking about 9, I thought there might be a problem with 9 being on the path, but no. The problem with 9 is if it's off the path. Yes. In fact, yes, okay, none of 9 cannot be an indexing number. Ever. Because once we add it to the number... So imagine this was a 9. Once I add it to, let's say we're looking at this path cell, once it adds to this, it will give a 10 at least, and I can't write 10 into the Sudoku. So none of these are 9, none of these are 9. Yes, okay. Oh, goodness me, I've just realised something so... Well, no, it's not so obvious. It's a little bit obvious. Where's 9? Where's 9 in column 1? I think it has to be here. There's only 2 candidates on the face of it, but remember that we're going to have Finkz has to get there. So if I put 9 there, in reaching this cell will contain 9 plus that digit, which is too big. So 9, I think, in column 1 has to be there. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know, sorry. A lot, okay. We're adding a lot of digits. If any of these are 8, yes, okay, that digit has to be quite small. Because it's possible this is an 8 at the very bottom. That it is possible that's an 8. That would make the cupcake have to equal 9. But imagine just for a moment this... Well, no, okay, let's make this 8, which is obviously the largest it can be. Now in this column, 7 is going to be in one of these 7 cells and is contributing to a value along the path. So we can't add more than 2 to 7, can we? Because if this square was a 3, 3 plus 7 is 10, and that will be here. And it's worse if 8 is in one of these. Then this would have to be a 1. So I think this square is 1 or 2. I don't know what that one is. But yes, okay, and that works. That logic must work along here as well. I've got 7 different numbers. So the minimum highest digit in that 7-cell string is 7, to which I cannot add more than 2. So this is a 1. So I've got a 1-2 pair now in this box. Ah! I've got another digit. That's a 3. Sorry, that's... Is there any other form of anything where working out that 1 plus 2 is equal to 3 can give you so much joy? In any other context, you know, if you speak to a child, they would be, 1 plus 2 is 3. It's totally obvious. It would be like poo-pooing the fact that, you know, that it's too trivial a sum. But in this puzzle, proving that 1 plus 2 equals 3 is actually quite exciting. Ah, now, hang on, what does the dot mean? The redcurrant. The redcurrant... this is odd, so this is even, it's not 2. Okay, so it's 4, 6, or 8. And we're adding 1 or 2. Well, this can't be 4, because this digit is itself at least 4. So it's not 4. Is it possible for this to be 6? If this is 6... Oh no, that could be 4 or 5, couldn't it? Adding to 1 or 2. No, okay, so 6 is okay. Now, let's just try and work this out then. So what's going on with these digits? One of them is a 2, and in that situation, let's just make this a 2. Just think about it, because the 2 is going to put more pressure on the line. Because now none of the... Yeah, so if this is 2, that is 8. Because 8 cannot sit above the path. And if that's 2, that's 8. So, okay, so what we're learning there is either this one or this one is forced to be 8. And then the 8... Right, what that means is whichever one of these is 8 can't have more than one cell in its row or column. Because imagine this was 8. And imagine that Finkz, to get the cupcake, she goes into those 2 cells. That cannot be true, can it? Because the minimum these digits, in fact, they can't be a 1-2 pair, but let's imagine they were. Well, the 2 plus the 8 is going to give us a double-digit number. So wherever, it's going to be important to know which of these is 8, because it's going to seriously limit how much time Finkz can spend in that row or column. Well, yeah. Let me think about this. It's quite hard for that to be 8, I think. Well, certainly, the only way that can be 8 is if we can't just run the path down there, can we? Because that's going to be far too many digits we're adding 8 to. The path is here. I mean, we could go, I think there seems to be a variety of ways we can go there. We could go into A, down here, into B here, which would take us out here, into B here. Oh, we can go diagonally as well. Into B there. Sorry, I'm not being very very perspicacious here, am I? Let me think. What could we do? Can we do more up here? Do I know what this digit is now? If that's... No, not... Well, I know that's at least 4. So this is at least 5. Where's the 4 then in this box? Is that the question I meant to ask? This can't be 4 because because this digit, even if this is as low as it can be, which is 4, this then becomes 5 because 1, 2 and 3 have gone. So 4 is either there, there or there. No, it's not here. For the same reason it can't be here. So okay, so 4 is in one of those 2 squares. This can't be 4 because we can't make those 2 add up to 4. So 4 is contributing to one of these values. Oh, hang on. No. I'm totally wrong. Sorry. I was thinking this was on the path. No, and well, it might be on the path, but I certainly haven't proved it yet. I can only apply the rule to things that are on the path. Sorry, Marty gets me again. Okay, so if that's... okay, A is not on the path. That cannot be on the path. That's really weird, but it can't be on the path because the minimum value of those 2 squares is 4 and 5. So if this was pathed, it would be a 9, and it can't be a 9 by Sudoku. So that is off the path. How do we do that? We do that. We just cannot go into A anymore. So this path doesn't go into A. So the path does go into column 9. That's interesting. That might well mean this has to be 8. Let's think about that. So I can see the path is here. And it's very easy to see it could just go straight into column 9, obviously. But if it decides to... let's try and keep the path away from column 9. It would go into B, wouldn't it? but then B pops out here, and the only way of getting out of that square is to go into column 9. Now, yeah, see, that's very, very Marty-ish. If this was 8, it is still possible for the path to only visit one cell in column 9 if it sort of if it does that. That is rotten, actually, because if I could rule that out, then I would know this is 8. I'm thinking about this incorrectly, aren't I? This is very, very weird. I don't understand. How am I meant to actually make much progress here? I need some values in this grid. I'm almost tempted to say I fancy this being 8, because at least it would define the path a bit. If that's an 8, what am I actually getting from that? I know that the path doesn't have 2 cells. If that's an 8, that's a 9, I suppose. That's a 1. That would disambiguate this, because we know that the path must go into row 9 to get to the cupcake. Ah, wait. Oh, okay. Forget everything. Right, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do this. All we've got to do is use parity. Oh, Simon. That's funny. Okay, that's not 2. Oh, Marty. It's not 2, because let me show you. If that's 2, how does the indexing work across these? If this is odd, it retains its parity when you add it to 2. If it's even, it retains its parity when you add it to 2. So these can't have different parity. That's such a Marty step as well. So this is 1, this is 2, and now these have different parity, and that works from an indexing perspective. Now, what does that mean? That means we can't have... Yes, so now I've done this a bit backwards. I've done it by thinking this might have to be 8 in order to define the path down here. And now I can prove it's 8, because these squares can't contain 8 because we're adding 2 to them, and that will put a double-digit number on the path. So 8 goes in the corner. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful, because now... let us give it some thought. How does the path get down the grid? We now know that there is only one possible cell in this column that can be on the path, because we're going to be adding 8 to a 1 over here to get 9 on the path, and we can only do that once. There's only one 1 in column 1. So, where is that? Now, clearly the path then can't come through this sort of jiggery-pokery. It can't get into B by coming down here. So what it has to do, it has to go into B, pop out of B, and wiggle in and out. And then it only spends one cell in this column on the path. I'm stopping here because I know what Marty's like, and Marty revels in making me look silly. I can't see another way of doing it. I think that must be correct. So I think the path, we can't go into column 9 except exactly there. So I think we're forced down here, we're forced across there into B, teleport here, in and out. This is now a 9, because we're adding 8 to a number. That's now a 1. Oh, there was some funny rule. Do we preserve that across the teleporter? I think we do. Let me go back to the instructions. Matching teleports always have identical digits, so this is a 1. Now I'm trying to do Sudoku. Well, I don't know whether this is a 1 or not. If it's a 1, it's useful, because if it's a 1, it's forcing Finkz to not go through that cell. We've learnt that already. And okay, what else do we get from this then? Oh, I don't know. I'm sure there's lots of things we get from this. I've just got to figure them out. Oh dear. And I'm not doing it very well, am I? No, I'm not. Okay, let's use our 1 trick on this box. 1 cannot be on the path. It's not there by Sudoku, so 1 is here. 1 cannot be on the path, so 1's in one of those 3 cells. Wow. 1 can't appear in any... Yes, this is good. This is great. 1 cannot appear in any other teleporter cell apart from blue. So 1 is in one of those 3 squares, therefore it's not here, therefore this is 1. That's not where I wanted the 1 in this box. I wanted it to determine the direction that Finkz starts off in. But anyway, that's still something, isn't it? That's not 1. There's a 1 here. So, oh, of course, yeah. 1 can't go on the path. So 1 in this box, 1 is very restricted indeed. Oh, 1's placed. Oh, goodness, sorry. Sorry, I didn't see that. 1's in one of those squares. 1 is not here. 1 is here. I feel like I've got an awful lot of 1-age in the grid. I have got 7 1s and a pencil mark 1 to finish with. Okay, so one of these is 1. So if it's that one, these are both even. If it's that one, that's even. And that's odd. Now, what do we do then? How do we think about the rest of this? That digit is even because we're adding it to 2 to get to 6 or 8. So that is 4 or 6. So this definitely includes a 6 because it's either 6 here leading to an 8 or it's 4 here leading to a 6. So there's a 6 in one of those two. We haven't quite used up all the even digits in the box. This is off the path, so I must not apply the rule to this square. And these, oh yeah, here you go. That is telling us these have different parity, isn't it? So this is odd. I mean, this is a slightly strange one, but imagine this is even, then this digit is odd because we're adding 1 to an even number. If this is odd, we're adding 2 odd numbers together, we're getting even. So these have different parity. So in terms of counting the even digits that must exist in box 1, there are 4 even digits in Sudoku, 2, 4, 6 and 8. We've got 2, we've got 6, we've got 4 or 8 here, and we've got 1 even here. So this is odd. And it's not 1, 3 or 9, so that's 5 or 7. That gets transplanted across its teleporter to here and does nothing. But, well, that still was a reasonable deduction. 5... No, that's not even true, is it? I mean, in the box, it is true to say 5 and 7 have to be in these 3 squares. I mean, I might as well record that. So, can we do something cleverer than that I've managed to do? And we can put 8 in these squares, can't we? Because 9 is available as an option here because I'm only adding 1 in this column. Okay, sorry. So where do we go now then? Is there some obvious way that we're meant to look at this? It's it's just classic Marty. I don't know where to look. Is it the fact? I know one of these digits is... Oh. No, maybe that doesn't work. I was thinking about 9 in this box. Is that a sensible thing to think about? 9 is on the path. Okay. No, I'm going to change tack again. Sorry, I mean, I'm having to do this because I don't know what to do next. But I'm seeing another possible cause of interest here. There are 3 digits here in row 3 that all have to be obviously sub 10, don't they? And we're adding this digit to 3 different digits here. And that digit is at least 4. So, if that's at least 4, none of these digits can be bigger than 5. One of them could be 5. Yeah, this is really interesting. Don't have a go at me and tell me how boring I would be at parties. I'm well aware I'm very boring at parties, but this is the sort of thing that does interest me. Because, okay, as 5 is in one of those... Well, no, these 3 digits cannot contain anything bigger than 5. So where is 7 in this row? Well, the answer is here. One of those 2 squares. Don't know which one. But we are adding 7... in one of these 2 positions to 2 to create a 9 in one of those 2 positions. That means these are not 9, which means 9 is down here. And 9 is being added to these digits. Yeah, this actually, let's keep going with this, because 7 now by Sudoku is in one of those squares, and 7 oh, this is ridiculous. Is this how this... I think I've spotted how this works. Because we've ended up with a 7 on the path here, what digit, do we combine with 2 to get to 7? Well, it's 5, which is now in one of these squares. And now, what we've got, either here or here, is a 5, 7, 9 trilogy. Is that true? 7 is in one of these. No, this isn't true. I've done this wrong, haven't I? I've done this wrong. I think I've added... I don't trust it at all. I'm going back. I'm happy with the 9 here. That feels right. That knocks the 9 down there. But then I think I said I needed a 7 here. Well, no, I do need a 7 here. By Sudoku, so that's okay. And if I get a 7 here, I do need a 5 up there. Okay, so maybe what I can't say is it's a 5, 7, 9 trilogy. But what I can say is that this cannot be 5 and 7. Because if this is 5 and this is 7, that digit cannot exist. So that is not 5 and 7. This is 5. This is 7. Yes, okay. I think my brain is onto something here, because this is 4. Because we can't add, remember, we can't add more than 4. So, well, once you know where the 5 is in the top row, we can't add, if this was any bigger than 4 and it was in these positions, we would create a double-digit number. So this 5, which is on this stretch of digits, must go with 4 here. And that must be 9. So we get 5, 7 and 9. Now I feel like the parity is very problematic here. Do these have to be even, I think? I might be wrong about this, but we're adding even numbers to something here. So imagine this was odd. We'd get 2 more odd numbers down here, but we've already got 4 of the 5 odd numbers used up in box 3. There's only 3 available as a possible odd number. So these are 2, 4. This is ridiculous. These are all even. They're 2, 4 and 6 in order to make sure we have enough of the right parity of digits. But more than that, I know the order of them. They can't be, because they have to be 2, 4 and 6 because they're the only even numbers available. And that's going to happen. They have to sort of ascend like a thermometer because these are ascending and these are on the path. So that's 2, 4 and 6. That's 3 in the corner of the box, which should really get a song because it's so beautiful. Now, how does this not resolve that? That's so strange. I don't know. Oh, 4 plus 1. I can do the maths on that. That's 5. That's 7. I didn't use the naughtiness. I just used Sudoku to get that. And that being 4 means that's 6 and that's 8. So I do get to resolve this, but not in the way I expected. Right, these digits are now 3, 4 and 7. By the way, is this 2 stars, really? It's a brilliant puzzle, but it doesn't feel very, very easy to me. 5, 6, 9 here. But we've got to make sure this all works, don't we? So we have to, well, we know that's not 9 apparently. I don't know why. Oh, but that must be from B. So these must have the same parity and be 2 apart. I think that works with both of the digits, doesn't it? So there's going to be a 7 above a 9 in one of these 2 dominoes. Oh, what are those digits then? They are 2 and 8. And that gets preserved. Obviously the 2 or the 8 goes down there, and that's beautiful. That has to be 8 by Sudoku then. So that's 8, that's 8, that's 2. Oh, the 8 is on the path. So that's 4. 4 plus 4 equals the 8. So this is 6 by the mathematics of this 2. These squares are now 5 and 9. So they must have 3 and 7 above them. So one of these is 7, 9. One of these is 3, 5. But we know so little about Sudoku at the bottom that feels unknowable as yet. What about red then? Can we do red? Because red has to transplant over there. 3, 5, 7, 9. No, not 9. 3, 5, 7, I think. So that's 3. No, it's no good at all. 3, 5 or 7. Okay, and we're adding. That's interesting. No, it's not good enough either. Oh, I've got yellow 7. I'll take advantage of that. So this comes down to 3 or 5. So this column now, what do we need? 3, 5 and 9. But the cupcake, oh, these 2 are definitely pathed. So we don't know what that is. But, oh, but it's got the same parity because we're adding 2 in this column to create these 2 pathed cells. So these are odd. This is an odd digit. 3, 5, 7 or 9 then. Not 9. Not 9. We can't add 9 to 2 to get 11 and put it in there. That won't work. If this is 5, it doesn't work, does it? Because that would create a 7 here. Oh, well, hang on. Why doesn't that work there? That does work there. If that's a 5, that would be a 7, because I'm adding 2 to it. So that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Oh, this is great. Now I'm just filling these in. That's a 7 now, because it's got to be 2 different from 9. This is even parity, but that's very unhelpful. Oh, it's 8. It's helpful if we use the indexing because it's on the path. This is a 2. Oh, sorry, look, I could have done all this before. It's very easy to get distracted in Marty Sears puzzles, trust me. Okay, so maybe I look at these 3 squares. That probably is where I'm meant to look, isn't it? So I've got 5, 6 and 8 into those positions, to which I'm adding 1 in each case. So these have got to be 6, 7 and 9. That's not 7. So that's not 6. That's not 8. So that's not 9. Can we do any better? And this one, that one's not 8. So that's not 9. So there's only one position for 9. That gets me a couple of things. And 8 is in one of 2 places in box 5. And what should we do now? I don't know. Is it just Sudoku actually? Don't these have to be 6 and 7 by Sudoku? Because I've got 6 and 7 here. I've not put 6 and 7. So these are 6 and 7, and we know this is the smaller. So this is 6. This is 7. This is 5. This is 6. What do I need in this column? 4, I think. Oh, that's annoying. Because 4 could be on the path. 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. What are those? Oh, what are these squares? 2 and 9. 2 is quite... No, 2 can't be on the path. But we don't know which the 2 is. So the path... Oh, this would be an 11. That's it. Look, that square there is 5 plus 6. So that can't be on the path. So the path must go downwards. So the path goes that way. So this is on the path and it's 3 plus 6. So that's 9. This is on the path and it's 3 plus... Oh, it can't be 3 plus 7, can it? Because that would be 10. So it's 3 plus 3. So that's 3, that's 7, that's 9, that's 5. This is 6. 6 is in one of those squares. Apparently we don't know which one. And Finkz herself is an 8. That's useful, actually, because that gets me an 8 in box 5. And an 8 in box 9. By our old friend, that fair weather friend Sudoku. All the 8s, all your 8s belong to us. What about 7 maybe? 7. Could 7 be in the C teleporter? No, because then it would transplant to the wrong place. So 7 is here. 7 is here because we just worked out it can't transplant to itself. What about row 4, 5 and 6 into row 6? That's a 4 or a 5. That's a 5. It's a naked single, so we can get all of those placed in the grid. That places the 6, unwinds the pencil mark I just found. What about column 4 then? 2, 4 and 9. So this is 2 or 4. That's 2 or 4. 9 seems to only have one place, and it's in the green thing. Oh, that's okay though. We've survived. We've survived teleporting the 9 down here. It didn't break the Sudoku. Oh, I tell you what else is interesting. That's very suspicious. 9 is indexed in both positions here, which suggests that Finkz is not going to go from here to here in any sort of direct way, but via these green thingies. I mean, I'm not very surprised because it's a Marty Sears puzzle, but it doesn't seem like Finkz is taking the most direct route. Now, what do we need over here? We need 1, 2, 4, and 5, don't we? Can we do any better? There's a 5 over here. No, I don't think I can. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 is in one of those squares. So 2 is in the corner. Now 2 is up here. So this is a 1, 2 pair now. This is a 4, 5 pair, not resolved apparently. But that's going to get me that digit, which is a 7. How many 7s have we got? Loads. Or all of them. All of the 7s. These are 3 and 4. Apparently that's not resolved either. Oh, goodness me, I've spotted something beautiful. Look at this red dot. There's a 1 on this red dot. That means the other digit on the red dot is even, and it can't be 4, 6, or 8. So it's 2, which creates a 1, 2 pair there, which is very odd with that, but I suppose this is going to resolve it. Right, so we got a 1, 2 pair. That becomes a 4. That's a 4, that's a 5, that's a 5, that's a 3. Not put 3 in the middle box yet. This is a 6. This is a 2. What do we need in this column? 3, I think. We're going to finish the Sudoku, aren't we? 4 and 5. We're just left with... Oh, and we can do it. That's 3. So this is different parity. So that's 2, 2, 1, 1. There we go. That's the puzzle. That is the puzzle, but it's not the end of the story because we have not got Finkz to the cupcake yet. So, how do we do this with any sort of aplomb? We are here, and we can't ever go into a 1. We can't go here because that would have the wrong indexing. Can we go into... No, the 7 is too small. 5 and 8 is 13. So we are going either to the 6, the 4, or the 3. We're not going into the 3 because this has got a 5 in it. Or this. We better be able to go to the 6 or I've made a mistake. We can. Oh, that's a relief. That's the only one we can get to. So we go to the 6. We can't go to the 1. Probably can't go to the 2. 2's too small, isn't it? So we're not going to that 2. That should be a 10 if we go to this square. We can't go to the 3. We've already looked at the 4. Is it the 5? Yeah, it looks like we go to the 5. I'm very sure we're going to end up at the 9. We can't go to the 3. We can go to the 8. The 8 is the only one we can now go to. Can we go to that 7? No. Can we go to the 3? No. No, we can only now go to the 9. We come out of the other 9. Cupcake is correct. 3 plus 2 is 5. We could go into the 7. Oh, I see. Look. There's a diagonal thing because we could have gone there, but we can't because of the purple dot. So we go there. There, the indexing is good, and then presumably we just finish. And that is the path. Now let's just check the path is continuous. Sort of, taking into account teleportation. That is, I think that must be right. Oh, and we get one of these special messages. Experiment completed successfully. Test date 50 years ago today. Visited 29. Redcurrants eaten 1. Teleporters used 2. Despite having had over 2 months off, Finkz got straight back into test mode, picking up right where she left off as we'd hoped. Frustratingly, despite weeks of tinkering with the teleports, and thinking the issues were fixed, Teleport B once again overheated after Finkz had entered it. Why is it just that one that's being temperamental? Further investigation required. Oh, that's such a good puzzle. It's such a good puzzle. Teleport B, which was that? That's the orange one. So the orange one apparently malfunctioned. I don't know why. But isn't that fantastic? Isn't that fantastic? Marty Sears, your brain is something to behold, let me tell you. Loved it. let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.